But Natalie, I mean, about the actual substantive point here, right? So Stephen just said, isn't that revealing of your hand? If it's the case that what you're saying is, I don't want low information voters to vote. That's what you said, right? That sounds like
Right.
your policy goals with quote unquote ballot integrity have more to do with the composition of eligible voter as opposed to whether or not they're eligible. Did that make sense? What I just said?
It makes complete sense.
Okay.
It's not exactly where I stand. I truly believe, like, I want to go back to pre-2018 in California. Like, I don't even actually think that you need to have an ID. I think you need to walk into your polling place, and I'm fully amenable to having some early voting at the same time. Open it up to like a week of voting, but you got to walk in, you go up, you tell them who you are, they check your address, they check you off, you sign the thing, you vote.
What about
I would
what
love
about
to have that.
overseas uniformed
And they
military?
request an absentee ballot, which has always been
Okay.
available.
So you're okay with mail-in voting so long as it's requested?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, then you're okay with mail-in voting.
Well, I'm actually, I should revise that slightly. I'm okay with them requesting a ballot for good reason, and I don't think
There
their
it is.
reason should be that they have to be overseas, or maybe they're disabled and can't get to the polling, or maybe they're older and can't
You
stand in
can't.
line.
The disabled
or
thing
whatever.
isn't fair because then MAGA would have a huge advantage in mail-in voting because they're all fucking retarded.
Whoa, Stephen. We're trying to have good dialogue here, Stephen.
My bad. I thought I was made it for that one.
Natalie, I'm sorry about that.
No worries. I kind of expected it listening to this thing. So
How does it make you feel when people say things like that to you?
people would say whatever the hell they want to me. I am a very hard shell. I don't really get offended.
Well, that's good because I think that there's a substantive point there as well, I have to say, which is like, is it up to us to decide who are good voters and who are bad voters? Shouldn't the whole like kind of structure here be about letting people do what they're going to do? Isn't that democracy?
So I'm not saying good voters versus bad voters. I'm saying uninformed voters, people that just go in and check the boxes. And if they want to make an effort to go down and register and then go to their polling place and check whatever box A, B, C, D, and whatever, then that's fine. At least they've
I think
done
there's
that.
some common ground here. I think there's some common ground. So here's my common ground. I
Okay.
also subjectively don't want ill-informed people to vote in terms of my subjective want and desire. I don't want people to like just randomly select things. I want people to be informed voters. That said, I wouldn't trust the government to decide who is informed and who's not informed, right? If you don't trust these government actors to like enforce good principles on who's informed and who's not informed, like why would you want them in charge of policies where it could skew to your detriment, right? So wouldn't it make sense to just have a policy that is neutral to whether you're informed or not informed and just tries to enable and encourage voting in a way that's accessible to most people?
So I don't understand where you're picking up on what I'm saying, that I think the government chooses, good versus bad or informed versus uninformed voters. I don't know where you're getting
because
at
you're saying that the policy rationale for not wanting unsolicited mail-in ballots has to do with a preference on whether a voter is quote informed or uninformed. That seems to be what you're suggesting. That the policy itself, that the justification for it would be based in some preference for informed voters as opposed to uninformed voters.
Right, but that's only a piece of it.
What's the other piece?
The fact that it can have all kinds of fraud.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just not trustworthy, in my opinion. It's not trustworthy to mail out a bunch of ballots. Like it doesn't. It's not trustworthy. It takes away public trust, and that's obvious. It's obvious that happens based on what we've seen. Right?
Did Trump lose the 2020 election?
No, he did not.
He won it?
Well, technically, yes, he did because
Because
Biden's
it was
president.
rigged.
Because Biden what?
Because Biden is president. So technically, yes, he lost the 2020 election.
No, who was the actual winner of the electoral vote? In terms of who should have won and based on if it were fairly counted?
Trump, in my belief.
And what's your evidence of that?
I don't have evidence of that other than everything that I saw while I was watching that election go down in real time. And my heart of hearts, that's what I believed. If I had proof, then I would take it to the court. I don't, but that is my heart of hearts. And so that's
I
not
appreciate
something.
your honesty. I just think that that's. Imagine if someone were to say that to you, like, I think Trump lost 2016 in my heart of hearts. How would you accept that?
Well, I would accept that that's what they think. Yeah,
Well, I'm
absolutely.
accepting that's what you think, but would you think that that's a good thing, a good disposition to have?
Hillary Clinton had it. She still does. So
True.
Okay, well, is there any last comment you want to give Natalie? I do appreciate. I think there's some honesty here, and that's something that I appreciate.
Well, yeah. Also, I'm just curious on all the issues that you'd be looking at for this upcoming election. How big of an issue would you rank like chemtrails?
you've been looking at my profile.
Yep.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So yes, I do believe that solar radiation is happening. They're spraying us like fucking bugs. And I do believe that there is a global cabal that is running this country and running many other Western countries. I also believe that if you look at all the Western countries, the same issues are all happening. Mass invasion of migrants, just all the same issues. And it's all because they've fallen in with the WEF and the One World Order fucking folks. And Bill Gates wants us all dead. So yeah.
True. I think one of the things that irritates me the most is because the United States, we're already allied with Israel. They already do leaflets. We already do like all these mail-out ballots, and we already have chemtrails. Why can't the planes, as they're driving the chemicals, just drop mail-in ballots at the same time and at least save some money?
You know what? Fuck it.
Fucking A.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Natalie. Pretty shocking end there. Or I don't know if
Really?
it's shocking.
You're shocked that the person that is that they sorry.
I mean, exciting, and I don't know what to say. Actually, I mean, that's
What do you mean you don't know what to say? It's a person who doesn't want people to vote because they don't want the wrong types of people to vote, right? They say, also, I know you know this, I'm sorry. When I'm talking if anybody's listening, when I'm talking at Pisco's a very, very, very smart person, okay? So when I say like, Pisco, you do know this, right? I'm really saying it to the audience. I'm not saying it to Pisco. Pisco knows this, right? Okay, so Pisco, you do know that this lady, okay, when she says things like, this is, mail-in ballots are bad because they're not, because they're unrequested, right? That if that never existed and it was just requested mail-in ballots, they would say the same thing, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Anybody could be requesting these ballots. You don't know what's real or not, right? It's always going to move down to the next thing. The idea
think
that
she
if
pretty
the,
much said as much, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Paul, we have Paul, who is the most important issue is the border person. Politics is my bag, baby, but I love entertainment as well. And an amateur fact checker. Why are you voting for Trump based on domestic policy?
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I was playing with my kid for a little bit, so I didn't hear the last lady.
It's okay.
But it seems like she attempted to argue a little bit about the border. But
A little bit.
I was listening. Yeah, I was listening earlier because yes, for me it is the most important issue. I mean, there's many obviously, but we have to look back at my main issue with Kamala Harris and the whole Biden administration, how they ran the last 4 years was they didn't have to, and on day one, they reversed all 94 of the executive decisions that were put in place to protect us at the border that Donald Trump had placed in, and they did it without a plan. So when they did that, the border is basically based off of two main issues for me. One of them is humanitarian, and the other one is national security. Mm-hmm. By allowing everyone to come in the influx that they did, and we have record amounts of illegal immigration in our country, we can't even actually figure it out.
Can I pause real quick just to make sure I understand? When you say allowing people in, can you explain what you mean, the audience, what you mean by that?
Well, that's obviously an opinion because they didn't just say, hey, come on in. I mean, it's, we could play words all day here.
I'm literally just asking what you mean by that. Are you saying that they loosened like the standard for to apply for asylum? Or are you saying they physically let these people in? What are you saying?
Yes. From where I stand, they basically allowed these people in because by removing the 94 executive orders placed by Trump without any plan in action, basically they just started processing people at a pace that's been unheard of in our history in terms of illegal immigration.
Let's talk
and now
I think that's very productive and useful to talk about, and I'm glad you brought it up. I don't think that Trump's executive actions encompass, or the ones that they got rid of at the start of the administration, encompass immigration law. The Immigration and Nationality Act is still in force. People who cross the border illegally without inspection and admission are still inadmissible to the country. They still have, they're subject to the same kind of restrictions as before. There are still removal proceedings going on. Everything about the structure of our immigration system is primarily statutory in nature, or at least the kind of outer shell of it, which is untouched, and the sort of long-standing regulations of the DHS, those are untouched as well. And so, like, what basis do we have to say that they're letting these people in? They're deporting them. They're making them inadmissible. They even enforced Title 42 for a very long time during the administration. So what do you actually mean when you say that? Like just getting rid of some executive orders that they don't agree with, or they think are illegal, or that they think that is not fruitful to like the Mexican American negotiations and diplomacy? That's not letting people in.
Yeah, but when you remove Remain in Mexico and the stuff that was there to basically detain people, we were promoting people to where you needed to apply for asylum in another country before you applied into ours. There were stepstones that were placed that were to deter the rate of which people were coming in, and the numbers are there's really no argument here in terms of the level and numbers of illegal immigration that was occurring during the Trump administration and where we got to in the levels with the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, we're talking anywhere between 2 to 2.5 million known immigrants come in, and that doesn't even include unknown gotaways. So yes, the estimates are out there in the 15 to 20 million range over the last 4 years.
So you're stressing the numbers, but Remain in Mexico is the policy you cited. That's a couple tens of thousands of people at its height.
Sure,
that wasn't preventing all this.
Well, no, this is a combination of you have to remember, I even remember when the caravan started, the minute that we found out that Biden was elected.
Well, to be clear, the caravans have been happening for decades. Like if you've watched
Well, they have been happening for decades. But again, we're talking about the level and scope of the level that it's at right now. Illegal immigration has been a problem since day one. I'm not going to argue with that. Obviously, during the Trump administration, it had its issues as well.
Well, Nimrod, thanks for the 50
gift
subs.
To get to the levels that we're at, I mean, we had 10 to 11 illegal immigrants in our country total before. We have doubled that amount in 4 years. And it's not because...
Would you agree that illegal immigration right now is a big problem in the United States?
I think it's the number one problem in the United States, yes.
Okay, number one problem. Okay, I'm just curious, do you say what state you live in?
California.
Okay, you're in California. You believe that illegal immigration, is the number one issue in the United States. Were you incredibly upset then when Donald Trump torpedoed the immigration bill, the border bill that Biden tried to pass through Congress that had support until Donald Trump pulled the plug on it?
No, there's very good reasons why that bill was torpedoed, including it was mostly pork in that bill. If it was like a single issue,
initially they were passing it with like the Ukraine aid and stuff, but then they tried to pass it on its own and it still failed.
They tried to pass it independently. So what about the immigration bill that would you consider to be?
No. Even forget that you might not have considered it good or pork or whatever. Do you think we would have been better or worse after the immigration bill when it came to immigration? Because you said that the border was the most important thing.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made much of a difference because the writing in the bill said that we could have up to 5,000 to 8,000 immigrants per day, not including women and children.
Wait a second. So why did the Border Patrol say it would be very significant and it would help them a lot? Are they lying?
No. Border Patrol.
They endorsed Trump, so are they lying when they said that the bill would have helped?
No, Border Patrol did sign off on the bill because the idea of getting more Border Patrol agents is always a good idea.
To help enforce the law, right? They're not.
Yes, but Border Patrol agents aren't also reading all the fine print that's being put in that law. Like I said,
they're stupid.
They were stupid and they stupidly.
I didn't say they were stupid. Border Patrol's job is to secure the borders, not to read laws that are being pushed by Congress.
Why wouldn't you defer to them if what you're saying is immigration is your biggest issue, and if you think the Border Patrol has a good set of head on their shoulders, why wouldn't you defer to them when they're saying that this would help border security and not hurt it?
Well, it wouldn't help border security. If I can finish my point, this actually would have just left human trafficking at the level it's at. We're the number one human trafficker in the world right now.
Okay, but hold on. I don't know why you just ran things. Wait, how many people do you think came in illegally last year?
Well, last year with my computer not in front of me, I'm going to say roughly around 2 million.
Okay, well, let's say that I assume it is an incorrect reading, but let's say that I grant you that the new bill said 5,000 could come in per day. That's less than 2 million. So wouldn't that already be an improvement?
No, like I said, it was the only way they would shut down the border is if we got to an average of 8,000 per day. Again, this is not including women and children, which are crossing the border as well. This is basically just men.
Yeah, this is to give emergency powers, right? This is what people don't understand. They're not letting these people in and making them not deportable or not admissible.
That thing about women and children, that was a totally invented thing. I don't know where that came from.
Sure, but I just want to be clear about what the bill does. The bill is saying these are the amounts of illegal crossings that have to exist, and now the executive is going to have an awesome power. And what's this awesome power? The awesome power the executive is going to have that we don't want them to always have, we want them to only have it in times of emergencies, is to just throw people the fuck out of the country without any hearings. Okay, there
Including
are
asylum
reasons-
seekers. Including asylum seekers.
Including
Zero can apply for asylum.
just
Zero can come over for
summarily
2
throw them out of
weeks.
and just so the reason why it's important to have this be cabined in some way is because it is an awesome power to just summarily throw people out of the country. And there are reasons we have procedures, typically even expedited procedures, to have these cases because significant percentages of cases, I'm not going to tell you it's a majority, but at least 10 to 20% of these asylum cases are meritorious in the end, at least. Okay, and furthermore, there could be
what percentage?
something in the realm of at least 10 to 20 of asylum claims are meritorious and succeed. Okay,
I would agree with that.
Okay, so something at a bare minimum there, and we even allow for different kinds of relief other than asylum that exists. The Convention Against Torture. There are other ways for people to seek immigration relief in this country that aren't asylum that they might be eligible for, notwithstanding. That's why we have procedures. Or, God forbid, there's a U.S. citizen that's caught in the midst. The reason why the power is limited to these numbers of crossings is because just throwing people out of the country without any procedures is a fucking awesome and dangerous power that we don't want to have just be in the hands of the executive the whole time. So when people say this was going to institutionalize 5,000 crossings a day, they're completely wrong. Those were the trigger events to unlock these awesome powers. That's why your reading is wrong. That's why
but guys, I don't think you're paying attention to reality, though. You're focusing way too much on the way things are written and not even looking at the actual problem. We have way more than 5,000 people crossing our border. Okay, we have more than if all right. If I I'm trying to give you guys time to make your points. I'll have a little time here to make mine. There are way more than 5,000 people that are crossing our border every single day. Not to mention now they're not even reporting or including the numbers of people we are flying in. I know this firsthand because my family's directly involved with filtering some of the illegal immigrants that come from Nicaragua. So what happens is a country like Nicaragua will send 200 people that are supposedly political asylees. I'd say about 70 to 80 of them might have a legitimate case of being political asylum refugees that are trying to come over here. I know firsthand, though, then they mix in about 120, 130 on these planes of either people that are coming in from Algeria, African countries, places that Nicaragua are allied with, or literally murderers and Sandinistas that are trying to be brought over here either as infiltrators or as just people they want to get out of their country. I know this because literally my family's involved with expelling and revealing those people and getting them out of our country. That's a small sample, and that's only Nicaragua.
Okay, if that's the case, wouldn't we want more funding for more asylum judges so they could hear these claims like immediately instead of giving them a piece of paper and releasing them into our fucking country? Wouldn't it be great if they could just go and have their hearing like immediately?
However, Pisco, the problem with what you're saying is that the funding is not being used the way that you're hoping it is. We literally are giving this money to NGOs that are just fueling human trafficking at record levels.
Hang on. The vast majority of this money was going to go to DHS. That's your rationale for why the DHS supported it and why the Border Patrol supported it.
No, guys. No. Unfortunately, what you're overlooking is the fact is they're just going to process more people and set court dates that these people, most of them, are never going to show up for. We literally have 325,000 missing children, which that's the official number, right? It's probably higher than that over the last 4 years. We have a humanitarian crisis that is developed.
Isn't being able to schedule their deportation hearings sooner, isn't that better?
No, you know what isn't better is allowing an environment where the cartel, which was only making hundreds of millions during the Trump administration, is making $13.5 billion per year estimated.
Wait, you just understand that what you just said was not responsive to what we're talking about, right?
Well, I told you there's a super issue here, guys.
I'm asking you something very specific. So I just want to chart what you just said, right? Because I said something in response. You said, isn't it better to have these asylum hearings, these master calendar hearings, sooner rather than later so we can deport non-meritorious claims earlier? And what you said in response is, isn't it better for the cartel not to be making money? Do you understand why that's frustrating in a conversation?
I get it's a two-way frustration here. So yeah, to acknowledge your question, it would be great if we were to have a better system in terms of asylum courts and all that. The problem is
the bill.
Again, because the bill isn't a serious attempt to stop the flow of migration into our country. Remember this, guys.
The Border Patrol said it was.
So do you think, should we just eliminate the whole asylum process then?
We should have definitely put a halt to all immigration at our country, which the president has the power to do at any point that he seems fit. Now, if you want to change that,
I'm asking, do you think we should get rid of the entire asylum seeking process?
Well, no, we are the land of immigrants. You definitely want to create a controlled, vetted way of bringing people in, because if you don't, we have two problems here. One is national security.
Yeah, we understand that. We agree with you. But I'm just asking, because it sounds like you're saying that any bill that you would pass that would give money to it is just going to be like used for other purposes or given NGOs anyway. So it sounds like it's like an unsolvable problem to you.
Well, no. If we keep allowing people to come in when we've already allowed the record amounts that we
I'm
have,
not
how
saying
are we
this. Why are you
possibly-
reading a script? I'm saying if we want to give money to asylum court judges to process
Process
these
cases.
claims, that seems like a good thing to do. But you're saying no, we can't give them money with a bill because that money's just they're just going to lie about where it's going.
Again, there's too much pork in that bill, guys. If you want to do a single issue bill, sure, I would support what you just said, but it wasn't a single issue bill. There's a lot of mistakes and errors that are in that bill the way it was written.
Every
Not to
bill's
mention
not going to be
better or
perfect,
worse.
but it would have made it better. You said that this was the most important issue. You said it was the most important issue, even if there was some pork
It
in
wouldn't
it.
solve it. Dude, making it better and solving it are two different
Would it-
goals.
would
I
it-
want
If
to
it's
solve
the
it.
most
Would it make it
important
better?
issue whatsoever, I'm sorry, if you're starving to death and somebody offers you 2 croissants, are you going to say, I can't accept this because it's not a full steak meal?
It would have put a slight band-aid on a big,
Would it
gigantic.
Even if
better.
it was a slight Band-Aid, isn't that still better? When you get cut, do you know what a Band-Aid is for? If you get cut, isn't it better to have a Band-Aid than nothing?
The bill should have been debated and
That's not,
negotiated
no
to
one
be
is
better
saying
than
that.
it is.
It was debated and negotiated. It was through the
It was
House and the
negotiated
Senate.
heavily.
It's been for a long time.
By
but would it have
very
made it
liberal
better? Isn't a
senators.
Band-Aid, isn't a Band-Aid better than nothing?
I don't believe there was a version that was presented without the money going to Ukraine and the other issues.
That is, you're
If I could
wrong.
be wrong.
Real
That's
quick, when you
wrong.
said that your family is involved in vetting these people, they don't work for the government, do they?
No, they do not.
They're fucking insane, aren't they? You guys are doing some wild fucking border shit, like some crazy white trash rednecks, aren't you?
Well, my mother's Nicaraguan, so that makes no sense.
So what do you mean by they're involved in vetting and doing crazy shit with immigrants? What are you talking? And they don't work for the government. They're not part of the government. Are they working for the NGOs that you say are stealing money?
There are NGOs that are stealing money. There are NGOs that are doing their job. Absolutely.
What
We're
is
not
your
even.
Wait, so
family
what is your family's position that they're vetting immigrants and stuff, but they don't work for the government?
No, we don't vet many. But my mother was directly working with members of Congress to look and investigate into people who snuck in through the asylum system. to
Wait,
get
is she
them
a
expelled
private
from the country.
investigator? Is she Death Note? What do you mean? What do you mean she was working with members of Congress?
That's funny. No, she started her own nonprofit organization that was to deal with bringing in people who were looking for political asylum from
So
the
just
country
to be
of Nicaragua.
clear, your complaint about the border bill is that money from the border bill might have gone to NGOs while you're citing the fact that your mother is doing work as an NGO?
My mother didn't get any money from the government to do that. That was all volunteer work. She was recognized by her efforts and it was respected because she was doing good work, but that was volunteer. She didn't get paid for that.
Okay. I have no idea what yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why, if the Border Patrol Union, which endorsed Trump, which hates Biden, which hates Kamala Harris, if they're saying this border bill would help us a lot, would help the situation a lot, such that we're going to actually endorse it, even though we hate these politicians, why doesn't that give you pause that maybe this would be better? And it
So,
sounds like when you said
here's-
it's a Band-Aid, it sounds like you're
Here's
acknowledging
my
it would
issue,
be better.
guys. Here's my issue. Since day one, they've had
Kick 'em.
there's a law the president has had, which is Section 212F, right?
Yes, that's a suspension power. Okay, so that authority. I don't know if you're still here, but where is he?
I think
What did
he
he-
and his mom went to enforce border immigration stuff on
Okay.
other
Well, I
Nicaraguans
just want
coming
to
in.
put it in real quick. So the suspension power has never been interpreted to cancel out the right of people to seek asylum. Asylum is a statute, and what the suspension clause says is that you can make inadmissible certain categories of non-citizens, or it even says any category of alien. But it doesn't. It's never been interpreted to apply solely or to extend to asylum or asylees. And in fact, when Trump was instituting his country ban, the migrant ban, or whatever, the quote unquote Muslim ban, when he did that, they were careful to section out the asylee seekers. So just to be clear, that's not been tested, and it's not the case that we have on point precedent that says the suspension power allows a complete shutdown of the border.
Do
we
you
can-
do you recognize this like the psychosis, the schizophrenic conversation thing where like I want you to try to find out from me, Pisco. Try to find out what I had for dinner last night, okay?
You had,
No, like ask me. Let's have a conversation. You want to know what I had for dinner last night? Yeah.
what did you have for dinner?
Okay, you know that Applebee's, okay, you know that they have like samplers and everything on Tuesday nights and stuff that are super discounted.
I know. I don't really. I'm just asking what you had for dinner, wherever.
So yeah, so last night, like it's very common at night that me and a lot of friends will do a whole bunch of different things. Sometimes we're not always spending money on food.
Steve, I'm trying to get. I just want to know what you had for dinner. Can you just answer that, please?
Yeah, so a lot of the times when people are going to restaurants, the servers, they don't actually pay attention to what you order, and they bring the wrong food to your table. I don't understand this like conversation pattern where you ask a question and then it's like they're reading a script. It's like the most AI programmed NPC bot like drone cult obsessed behavior. The one lady, not the one we just recently, not the chemtrail lady, but the one prior to the chemtrail lady, they do this thing where you ask a question like, well, don't you think this would have helped? And then they'll say, and then they just start rambling on some crazy shit. Like they're just reading a script of like what they got from their favorite, Facebook poster. It's insane.
Okay,
Sorry.
we're coming into it.
Yeah, I got one more. Give me one more. I got it. Okay.
We got one
I'm
more.
losing my mind here.
This one might be a doctor, or maybe a boxing doctor. Boxing MD.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? So, just to start the premise, I am pro-choice, so let's not even get into abortion, okay? So I'm pro-choice. I don't watch Fox News. I'm extremely pragmatic in my approach to Trump because it is arguing with Trump supporters on why Kamala Harris would be better than Trump. So you don't have to give oral sex to Trump to vote for him. I'm just letting people know that, right? Because I guess a lot of these people are big fans of Trump. I don't think the election was stolen. Destiny, I think Ashley Babbitt got street justice, okay? These are things that I all feel because I'm a law and order individual. I'm a big fan of the institutions and strength, right? I get it. Trump didn't win the election. These are all things that I agree on. But what matters to me, like the guy said earlier, and also just to play devil's advocate, if the Republicans rejected the bill, then why the fuck would they support Trump now? Maybe they looked at the bill and realized that the bill wouldn't have helped them because you could easily play that Pisco. You know what I mean?
Well, wait, hold on, wait. Just to be
that.
clear on the border bill, they did support the bill, but then Trump said don't support the bill because if the border gets fixed during the election season, then Trump would be hurt.
No, but they're endorsing him now. So why would they endorse him?
Why would they endorse who?
Because if they don't, they lose their careers.
Yeah, they have to endorse Trump. It's a cult party.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's your answer? Instead of that he would maybe be better for them? Okay.
No, wait, hold on.
But
Do you
wait.
acknowledge that every single politician in the Republican Party that's gone against Donald Trump, Trump will try to career
Save
assassinate
for a few
them?
governors.
Destiny, say that again?
Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump will aggressively go after your career if you don't play ball with him, if you're a Republican?
Why didn't he endorse Kamala?
Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump will aggressively go after your career if you're a Republican and you don't play ball with him?
I don't. Is the border?
You said you're a doctor. Can you not understand? Is it English second language or fourth language? Or I don't understand how the question I'm asking is so complicated.
They're nonpartisan. What are you talking about?
What?
What are you talking about?
Oh my God! Wait!
the
I'm
border
so sorry.
union?
Hold on. My bad. Stop. We had a disagreement. I'm sorry. I insulted you. Hold on. He's talking about the union. I think we were talking about lawmakers in Congress.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah,
about
I know.
lawmakers in Congress. That's what
Yeah,
you said.
thank you.
Okay.
Right?
No, I was talking. No, I never said lawmakers in
Oh,
Congress. I
then
said
we messed up. Sorry, dude.
Miscommunication.
fine. All right.
Pisco, stop being
All
so
right,
mean.
let's move-
Go ahead.
All right, let's move forward. I don't care about being mean. I don't care. Anyways, so the things that matter in immigration, legal and illegal, right? I mean, it's a fact there's an exponential increase in immigration. I understand that bill would have helped. They sat by for 4 years and waited. I get it. Politics are played. Would it have helped to see here? Maybe. But at the end of the day, there is an exponential increase in legal and illegal immigration.
Would it
We
have helped
understand
though? Do you agree it would have helped?
that. I think it might have helped so small in a sense that it would have potentially given Democrats the ability to then win the election and then make it worse. I mean, politics exists, guys. Like, let's not act like it doesn't.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Can I just offer this up, and then you guys don't have to vote. You guys can vote to destroy the country, whatever the fuck you want. But if you're ever bored on your own, you know what Google should. Okay, can I just offer this up as an opinion, and then you can go read about it and fact check it later. Okay, the United States of America does not have a problem with illegal immigration, okay? We do not have a problem right now in the USA of illegal immigrants. We have a problem with the on-the-books legal asylum-seeking process. That's the issue. It's not a matter of having a secure border. It's not a matter of enforcing the law. It's not a matter of letting people in who aren't supposed to be here. It's that people have, right now in the United States, federally protected rights to seek asylum in a way that's probably excessive, and we don't have the money to deal with all of these people coming in and making these claims. Do you agree with that, or do you completely and totally disagree with that?
No, I mean, there's points that, I mean, I think there's both. I think two things could be correct at once. Like, I don't think that I'm aware of the percentage of people that are caught on the border versus people that hop on an airplane that come over that oversend visas. I get it. And then people Destiny, I get it. I don't want to get caught in the weeds, but can I just move past immigration really quickly? Because I know you don't have much time. I just want to.
Sure, you can. The frustrating thing is that when Trump talks about the border, when Republicans talk about the border, he talks about like the wall and security and enforcing the law. None of these three things would do anything for our current problems. It's about changing the asylum seeking process. But go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. So, one thing, obviously, I think that the institute, because I'm not a radical. I do believe in the institutions, and I think that a good movement would be to get rid of any type of affirmative action and quota system, right? And we've seen under the Biden administration that they brag to put specific people. I'm not talking about just Ketanji Brown, who I actually don't find is dumb. I think other judges have done, not her. She's just leftist. That's fine. But there's been a debasing of the institutions by lowering standards for people to enter to get in based on no, it's true. Don't argue with that, right? So that's one of the things that I think Trump would at least try. Have a chance
okay, and that might be an issue.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what is one example of that?
I just said that the judges that are elevated amongst all courts, he bragged it was like 30-something% black women, which is about 6%.
Yeah, sure, but I'm asking, like, is there somebody who wasn't qualified to be a judge that became a judge?
I just said that based on
you're
looking. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I have to look at each individual case. I mean,
no, hold on. I'm not each individual, just one. I'm just curious if there's one example of like, wow, this person isn't qualified to be a judge.
I mean, if you've passed the bar, you're qualified to be the judge. What's your point? I mean, I'm sure that the resume is lower. I mean,
if you are qualified for it, then who cares if they? Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I mean, we could agree to disagree. We all know the truth.
Come on, dude.
It's lower. Okay,
how can you argue that it's lower and not given? And you're saying that like it couldn't be lower. All you have to do is pass the bar.
Are you acting like these judges were hidden figures? They were hidden behind the walls, and they didn't get it. And then you're just opening the wall for them, and 30% of the 6% population get elevated into a judgeship. Come on.
You're saying it must be the case that these. You're saying it must be the case that these black judges are, at least some of them, are unqualified. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm saying is that there's.
Is that what you're saying? Yes or no?
I'm saying that there's.
Is that what you're saying? Is what I just said? What
I'm sure. If you're specifically looking at 6% of the population to fill voids instead of looking at the whole population, obviously. But I mean, let's just move on to a different point because everybody knows. Because we all know
that's crazy. So you're saying because there's 30% black judges that were nominated, at least some of them are unqualified.
I'm saying is that the best weren't chosen purely if that's the case. Are you arguing that 6% of the population?
No. We're talking about qualifications.
You want to? You know what? I'll make a stronger claim. Are you familiar with Trump's court cases?
Are you talking about the Fannie Willis case where she couldn't keep her, in her pants because she has no self-control, or she was talking about which ones are you talking about? These judges are not impressive. We all know this.
Yeah. Can you think of any other judges? Wait. Can you think of any other judges that aren't impressive?
Sure. Judge Judy. I don't know. I mean, she's actually
notice how it doesn't even come for a microsecond to your mind that a female judge, Judge Cannon, might be an example of a DEI pick because she's a female and because she's a judge, but it's because she gave a favorable ruling to Trump that is ubiquitously agreed upon as being a joke fucking ruling, but you don't even think about that, right? And the fact that part of that ruling was powered by another potential DEI pick, a black judge, right, Justice Thomas, but you don't even think about that as maybe he's not qualified to be a judge, right? Do you understand that when you say that these people aren't qualified, in your mind, you're just using race or gender as a proxy for people that you don't like, that do things that you don't like?
You don't think overall the concept of affirmative action hasn't watered down the quality of people in the government, institutions, et cetera, et cetera? You don't think that's true? You don't
I think that if I had that feeling, I think that I would look for an example of it. I'd be able to say at least one example of it. And I just gave you two that if I thought that DEI was destroying this country, those might be two people I would mention. But you know what? You don't think that DEI or whatever's a problem there because they give you rulings that you like and agree with. So it has nothing to do with DEI or affirmative action. That's why you can't think of a single case or a single example, except for the lady in Georgia. You can't think of a single case or example.
Clarence Thomas has the argument against Clarence Thomas is that he's written.
Actually, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. For the one in Georgia, hold on. For the one in Georgia, I'm sorry. Who was that? Is that the district attorney or the attorney general?
It's Fannie Willis. She was voted in by her base.
She was voted in. So how the fuck is that even an example?
It's a culture shift.
Oh my God,
dude!
I know you don't get it. You guys don't get it.
I don't get it. I'm not. I'll admit I'm not racist enough for it. I'm sorry. Help me understand, please.
Semantics. You're arguing.
It's not semantics. It's substance.
It is semantics. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the other things. All right. Right. If you like to.
Yeah,
having
sure.
zero. You could say international direction when it comes down to. Our allies or enemies, where to put things. There's no off ramp when it comes to Ukraine. there's a lot. You're
We're
funding
focusing
enemies
on
on one.
domestic policy today, but I appreciate
Okay,
it. Yeah.
No, that's fine. We can focus on domestic policy. That's fine. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, Destiny, let me just go back to the. I'm driving right now, so I can't look up specific examples. But at the end of the day, the people that are put in power. I mean, we saw what happened to the guy who was the transgender. You know, he was a freak. He debased the office by
Are
stealing
all
someone's.
transgenders freaks in your mind?
No, I don't think it's a thing, but I don't think they're freaks. I think they're mentally.
Who debased
I
the
think-
office? Who the fuck are we even talking about?
Yeah, the one with the bald head who was stealing fucking luggage. You know what I mean? Embarrassing, right? Very embarrassing.
I
Yeah,
guess.
but
I'm
it's
just curious.
embarrassing,
Hold on. If you were to guess, what percentage of the bookmarks that you have on Pornhub are for trans porn?
0. I'm not into weird stuff.
You don't
like that.
bookmark it at all? How much do you think about trans people? Do you jerk off more to like trans men or
I
trans women?
personally-
Do you, when you do
I-
like the food and stuff, is it important that they have like a full vagina and a full cock? Or is
I-
it just
okay.
like cock and balls and they've got like tits? I'm just curious, like what
so
kind of trans
I-
porn you jerk off to all the time?
So I personally don't think that trans is the biggest issue ever, but I think it's a basis of.
It was big enough for you to bring it up just now.
I brought up an individual who debased the office because he was the first.
know-
trans-
You know
how
who?
many
You know
white
an individual
people debase
debates
the
the
office?
office? Donald fucking Trump when he denied the results of the last election and continues to this day.
All right. I mean,
That wasn't
listen,
a trans
I understand.
person. It wasn't a trans person who wrote the Eastman memos. It wasn't a trans person that tried to coup the government and storm the Capitol. There might have been a trans person there, but
I mean, yeah,
by
there's-
and large, white people.
There's a lot of idiots. There's a lot of knuckle draggers that were there at J6. There were feds. I don't think that those people were freedom fighters. Okay. But at the end of the day,
Was
I
Jan
do believe.
6 an inside job?
No, I mean, what do you mean? No, J6 wasn't an inside.
Why do you
job.
say there were feds there? What does that mean?
There's people that were directionally pushing people to do certain things because they're idiots.
Yeah, I agree
No,
with
mean,
you there. There was a fed. There was a fed doing it. His name was Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, yeah.
I mean, there's other people. I mean,
Really? Name one.
you're friends with one. I don't want to get in trouble and name names.
Who?
Keep
Nick
it over there.
Fuentes? Who friends with who? Which one?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe.
You think Fuentes is a
You think
fed?
Nick Fuentes is doing this at the direction of the federal government?
No, I think that there's people that are somewhat compromised at certain places that are pushing idiots to
Name one.
I mean, what do you mean name feds? You think they're going to expose themselves to say
You
yes?
said you knew the
yes,
name of one. That's friends
Okay.
with Steven.
He
Who
said
cares?
Fuentes.
Okay, there were
Is it-
people
is
that
it
wanted
Fuentes?
to. There were people
Yeah.
that wanted to overthrow the government. Sure.
Yeah, his
They
name
were
is Donald
idiots, right?
Trump.
I know he essentially was. You could say he wasn't responsibly enough at that point to tell people to not to show up, but he did say peacefully protest. These are
Wait, can I
idiots
just ask
who-
you a question? Hold on. What do you
Go
think
ahead.
about the fact that he had 7 false electorate slates prepared for Mike Pence to choose to gavel him as president?
Hey, guess what? I believe in the institutions and they're strong, and he's not president. Cool. Let's move on.
He,
That's it.
tri-
What-
but he
what
tried
the-
it.
wait.
He tried it. He tried that.
Wait, so do you admit then that he tried to
It
coup
didn't
the
work.
government, but
It
he failed?
didn't work.
Okay, so then you admit he tried to coup the government, but it
tried.
failed.
He tried every message he legal.
Yeah,
Wait,
someone tried to
he
kill
tried
your
to
mom.
he tried to coup the government and it failed, right?
Yes.
I think he tried every legal method. Give me one
Wait.
second. He tried every legal method he can.
Wait, no,
I'm
wait,
li-
but it wasn't legal. He was telling them to break the law. That's not legal, right? That's telling somebody to break the law is not legal, right? Or would you say that's legal?
He has to do something. He has to change something.
Oh shit, he's probably. Never mind.
No, I'm not looking up anything. No, I'm not looking up anything.
I was gonna say trans porn, but
Okay,
it's okay.
I believe in the No, Destiny. Not everybody's porn.
Well, it's
brain
going.
like you.
I mean, like,
No,
listen,
no,
North
wait, no, but I
Carolina-
don't believe that. I want to hear this. Did Donald Trump tell Pence was the goal for him to break the Electoral Count Act? That's a law. He wanted to break the law. That's not legal, right?
I think that he tried every legal argument he can, and he put pressure on Mike Pence.
What
to
is
do
the
things-
what is the longest?
matter.
What's the longest
It def-
girl dick you would take in your ass? Just give me a number, just from 1 inches
0
to 15 inches. Just be
Zero-
honest. Tell
zero-
me. Just be honest.
Zeroing.
Okay, so you can't answer a question directly. So when Donald Trump told Pence to break the ECA, when Pence said no, and Trump said you're too honest, isn't that telling somebody to break the law?
I mean, has he been charged on that specific case?
Do you think that when food has come, do you think that they can get people pregnant with the food to come, or like it was in a hentai, like if a Fuda girl came inside of a cis woman?
I mean, Destiny, I don't think trans is the biggest issue. I don't say babies' dicks are cut off or,
Oh, okay,
like,
okay then.
the
So then
legal
when
law. I don't
Donald
say
Trump
that
tells
shit.
Pence to break the law, isn't that like breaking the law? That's not a legal option, right?
Did Mike Pence break the law?
He
Mike
no,
Pence
he
didn't
didn't.
break
He
the
didn't
law.
break the law.
Was
No,
he,
Pence didn't.
was he charged for that? Was
Who's
Donald Trump charged?
Donald
Was
Trump
charged
right
with
now
trying to
is yes,
obstruct-
no, yes, he is right now charged
Yes.
with that. Yes.
What is the charge? To be specific, Destiny.
Yes,
What
I
charge?
will be a conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, a conspiracy to violate rights, and a conspiracy to commit fraud against the United States, and then actual obstruction of official proceeding. All four.
Yes.
Okay, but it didn't occur. Okay, literally the point
Wait,
is.
what are you
it
talking?
didn't-
Wait.
Oh my
What do you
God,
mean
there
it
goes
didn't
that
occur?
goalpost. Holy shit, he's running
I mean, listen,
away
I'm not a legal-
quicker than
I'm
he'd
not a
run towards
legal-
Transcock.
I'm not a legal expert. Okay?
No, hold on.
I-
And bullshit, you're not a legal expert. You're a fucking cunt. That's what you are. Who hates this fucking country? Just be honest
No,
about it.
I don't
Own
hate
it.
this country.
Own it. Own it.
I-
Just say you fucking hate
Destiny,
America.
I wouldn't
You
have had a
hate black
problem-
people. Just be
Destiny,
honest about it.
I wouldn't have had a problem if people that were breaking into the Capitol got shot. I don't give a fuck, Destiny. That's what the country I'm going
Well,
to live
yeah,
in.
because you think half of them were feds, apparently. Why can't you just
I don't
admit
think-
that
I
Donald
don't think half
Trump
of
wanted to
them were
break the law?
feds.
Donald Trump wanted to break the law. Just say it, admit it. Yeah, Donald Trump wanted to break the
Donald
law.
Trump reacted stupidly.
Reacted stupidly.
Let me answer. Let me. Are you going to let me? At
Yes,
least
we
make a
will. Yes,
sentence?
we will.
Okay. He reacted from a bunch of different circumstances. Some legal, some a little bit shady.
Illegal?
Hold on,
Again!
hold on. That put himself in a really difficult position to win the election. And I will say that it's a really difficult circumstance when you have the media, Congress undermining you with the Russian collusion, all these other things. At the same time, there was a bunch of people that were watching people act extremely vile and violent. They were not getting arrested. There was people that were sick and tired.
Bro.
So they
would not-
broke the
Hold-
law.
no-
So they broke the law. They were sick and
broke
tired,
the
so they
law.
broke the law.
Yeah, they should go to jail. I get it.
Yeah, like Donald Trump
Trump broke the
should.
law.
Trump should go to jail for breaking the law. But we understand why he did it, right?
Okay, what's your point? Hillary Clinton broke the laws. I mean, every
Wait,
fucking
what?
president
Really?
breaks the law.
Wait. Which law did Hillary Clinton break?
I don't know, like moving documents and then saying, "Oh, I got caught."
Hold on,
I
excuse me.
classified it
Was
as
she
a-
charged? Oh,
happen.
wait, excuse me. I'm just using your standards. Was she charged with a crime, sir?
Being charged and not being charged are different, but that's like Trump being charged. I mean, the cases are.
Oh, wait.
Listen,
Oh, so now being charged doesn't matter. Because before it sounded like with Donald Trump, it sounded like being charged was important until you found out he was charged, and then it didn't matter. But with Hillary Clinton, I asked if she was charged, and it didn't matter because she wasn't charged, right? And with the DEI thing, it doesn't matter that Thomas is black and Cannon is a woman, but it does matter that the elected person in Georgia
Was not
was
even a
black.
judge.
Like, yeah, who's not even a judge. Like, do you understand how fucking
They're gonna
retarded you
nominate-
are?
okay, let me
No,
be
you're like,
specific.
you're on another
Let me be
planet
specific.
of
Let me
copium.
be-
It's actually
let me be
insane. If there
specific.
was an Olympic
Let me be
event for
specific.
mental gymnastics, you would be a 10-year-in-a-row gold winner. You and every other MAGA dipshit.
Okay, let me be specific. Okay, since everything gets held up in Congress and nothing happens. there's
Nothing
judges
happens?
that-
What about all the legislation that
let me
Biden passed?
fucking- I get it.
Let him finish,
okay?
Steven. What the
I
fuck?
get it.
Let him finish.
There-
Oh, he's
there-
already got his transport
there-
up. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you from finishing,
No,
bro.
stop.
Do it.
Boxing. Finish,
There
please.
are actual cases, which includes affirmative action, that will be brought up to the Supreme Court, like that occurred.
It's
under
already
Trump,
been ruled
which-
on.
Yeah, they already ruled on that,
Okay,
bro.
But
Affirmative
they're gonna
action is dead.
What's going to
It's
happen
dead.
again, Pisco, is that they pivoted for universities, picking the holistic approach, which is a way around lowering test scores for individuals.
The
I
Supreme,
understand
wait,
how
the
this works.
Supreme Court literally says it's okay if someone individualizes their racial story as part of an essay. That was like an area that the Supreme Court explicitly left open, which makes sense in the kind of race-blind
be ch-
admissions that they're doing. They got rid of affirmative action. And by the way, racial-based hiring is not allowed in federal employment. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so in other words, they worked their way around the case. They're going to look at the institutions. It will be challenged again. There's a lot of things that will be challenged in court because these universities have lowered standards.
Wait,
for
I thought
individuals.
you said that exploring all your legal options was good, like how Donald Trump tried to break the law. I thought it was okay then. So it's not okay for the universities to do it, but it is okay for Donald Trump to do
But
it?
students could also sue universities if they feel like that they're unfair
They did
admissions.
do
Yeah, and they
that.
did. They are. They
They
can.
won.
Yeah, and there's ways around it which they use, which is say that as a black man or as an Asian man or as a Jew or as whatever the fuck, I'm suffering, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Then they probably have a box. They check it in, they go, oh, this is not. Maybe if they have racially blind standards, it doesn't occur. But I mean, again, the courts matter, right? The Supreme Court matter, and that's something that Trump has control over, right? That's it. I mean, I'm not unrealistic in his powers and what he.
I
what he
agree
can
that
do.
Trump has control over this Supreme Court and they give him the immunity they asked for, and that by and large they kind of side with him a lot. But I don't think that that's a good thing. I don't think it's good that we have a Supreme Court that seems to give him absolute immunity. It seems to give him every, roll the dice, he gets an advantage. So I don't think that that's good. I think that that's not a basis to vote for Trump, to get more of that.
Also, wait, what state do you live in?
I live in a purple state, purple state. I don't need to give too much
And me.
information on.
And me.
I was just curious.
A Purple's Day, no. Hopefully it's
Why?
like-
Oh, I was just
Why?
curious if you're in
I-
one of the states that now require you to show an ID every time you masturbate to trans porn. I was just curious.
I mean, Destiny.
Stop.
Destiny, I don't really harp on the trans issues like that. I don't think it's a thing. I would prefer people like, you know, better themselves. And
why did you
and-
mention
and-
that trans staffer who stole luggage? Why did you feel the need?
Because they celebrate it as the first trans whatever, and then they debase the office with their behavior.
Well, then
I mean,
that's
Okay,
such a
yeah, and
sad
Donald Trump was
story.
the first fucking orange president, and you guys still celebrate him, even though he denies both election results, even the one
I
that he
don't
won.
celebrate. You're asking me why he's better than Kamala. I'm not celebrating.
You
And you
are
said-
celebrating. You're making so many excuses for this guy. You sound like a battered fucking housewife. It's insane.
Okay, I mean, Destiny, do you really think that there's a thought in Kamala Harris's brain?
More than in
honestly.
Donald Trump's brain.
Dude,
yeah,
have
of
you
course.
Have you heard Trump?
Why can't she answer? Okay, a question, Destiny. Question it. So when someone's asked, what would you do differently than in the Biden administration, right? Do you think somebody who had any Destiny, you debate, that's all you do, which you know you're good at it. It's fine.
You understand that Kamala
hold
Harris
on,
just
hold
had a
on.
successful appearance on Fox News, and Donald Trump self-destructed like a Palestinian terrorist when he was in front of a Bloomberg interviewer for 1 hour. It was one of the most embarrassing interviews I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Destiny, it's a specific question.
Yeah.
So when somebody asks you, what
No,
would you do
it's not a
different than-
specific question.
Okay.
He's bringing
It's a
up
tough
he's
question,
bringing up
but-
one example of Kamala Harris stumbling through a question when Donald Trump's standard for performance is that he can speak and breathe at the same time and not die.
It's an
fucking
example
absurd.
of her. It's an example of her lack of aptitude and being able to
Lack of
No,
aptitude.
no, no.
All you do is make
Yes.
excuses for
Fucking-
Donald Trump. You make excuses for everything. Why didn't he pass any legislation when he was in office? Why didn't he
He's the
fix the
exa-
border when he was in office? Why doesn't his last vice president run with him?
Okay, I mean, listen. It's
Why does the majority of his cabinet not endorse him?
You have to address Kamala Harris because she's.
Why
I
did he
will- I will
lose all
answer
of his
that.
court cases?
She's running against him. I mean, the cases to be. You're
Exactly.
obsessing about Trump. No. You're obsessing about Trump. You've not made the case for Kamala Harris at all. It's all
I don't
about
need
Trump.
to make the
wait,
case.
wait,
It's a
wait,
two-person
you have
election.
to.
I can say an anti-Trump case, and that's enough for me.
I know because when you take a deep look at her, it's extremely.
No. It's
unsettling.
not like that at all. So first of all, to answer your question about the interview, the specific interview question about Joe Biden, that is actually an incredibly tough question when you're the sitting vice president and you have to make some kind of differentiation with the current president. It's awkward, and the fact
Pisco,
that
it's
the
not.
fact that she's being cagey and dodging that, and being cagey and dodging that is not a surprise. to the
Pisco, it's
politician.
not. You
It's-
could literally say.
No.
No, Pisco. You could say that. You know what? Like they complained that he didn't give enough press conferences, and I'm gonna be the most.
No,
transparent
no,
president.
Just to be
no,
clear,
no,
Pisco,
no, you
this
can't
guy,
say
you
that.
Pisco, you have to
Fucking do.
understand, this is a guy whose last president tried to kill his fucking vice president, and who said about the current president, J.D. Vance, he said, oh, I don't talk to him. I don't know what the fuck he said. So, of course, this guy's not going to have any understanding whatsoever of how a VP and a president might interact. He has no standard whatsoever for that behavior.
If Kamala Harris, you know what happens if she says, "I'll take more press, interviews than Joe Biden"? She's shitting on Joe Biden. You understand that, right? So it doesn't surprise me. It's not a question
That's
of her.
shitting on Joe Biden.
Yes, it is. It's
Oh
saying
my
that
God,
he doesn't
you guys
have.
are so sensitive.
Dude, wait, hang on a second.
So
You think-
sensitive? Wait, do you acknowledge that Donald Trump is the only politician in the United States that's put in a personal request to have a tweet taken down because Tracy Kagan or whatever called him a pussy-ass bitch?
I mean, listen. It's,
Yeah, no, wait. Do you
Trump's
acknowledge that Donald
narcissism-
Trump is the only one that put in a request to have a tweet like that was mean like that taken down?
Trump's narcissism is flawed. I get it, but isn't
When you
it,
hold
isn't
on,
it-
how do you?
isn't it
I
concerning?
want tips. I want tips because sometimes when I do mushrooms, it's really difficult. How do you differentiate between the voices in your head and the ones that are actually in the external world? Can you explain how?
Oh my God.
I mean, Destiny, isn't it difficult to have a president that was having an affair with somebody 4 years older than her daddy? That's a
You
little like a
understand that the
character-
guy that you voted for was out there fucking a porn star
you
after his
serious?
wife had given birth 4 months prior? Do you acknowledge that that happened? That Donald Trump was dicking down Stormy Daniels with his new son that was 4 months old? Do you acknowledge that that happened?
I mean, listen, Trump is a
Well,
sexist.
listen.
Kamala Harris is
Do you see what he's doing? He's doing the
Kamala Harris is a
NPC thing. I don't
deeply-
even know if it's a real human. It might be
deeply
AI. This
damaged-
might be the next part of Elon Musk's thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this guy's a real fucking human or not, or if he's actually psychotic, or if he's like schizophrenic. He can't respond to a single fucking question. He's unresponsive,
You're
right?
doing the
If
same
we were
thing
in a
that I'm doing.
hospital
I'm just
right
doing
now,
it back at you.
wait,
It's
hold on,
fine.
wait. I'm doing the same thing. Ask me one question right now.
Okay, so isn't it unsettling that Kamala Harris was having an affair with somebody 7 years or 4 years older than her dad? Isn't that kind of disturbing, Destiny?
affair?
No,
or
it
a
wasn't.
relationship?
Shut up, Pisco. No, it wasn't disturbing because one, he had already been divorced or estranged from his wife for 10 years, and two, they were both well past 18 years old. I think Kamala was what was she like 31 and he was 60? Was there a big age difference? Yeah, there was. Is it like creepy or weird? No, I don't really think so. Not that much.
That's
They were
not
both
creepy
adults.
or weird. Are you crazy?
Creepy or
Destiny?
weird? Well, you asked me for my opinion. Now, hey, do you see how I just answered it a direct question, right? And qualified it and answered
Okay,
it? Now, here's a
that's
question. Do you
fine.
acknowledge that Donald Trump was dicking down a porn star when his wife had just given birth to his son 4 months prior? Cheating on her.
Yeah, I do acknowledge that.
Oh,
It's
thank
not
you.
great.
That's good.
It's not great.
Cool.
Yeah,
Good
it's
job.
not
Good
great.
for
I
you.
don't know
We got
where,
there. My God. Good job. Whoa. Big breakthrough moment right there.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean,
had Myron Gaines, but I think Myron left. It was going to be some critical support for your boxing, but
no, I don't really. I think his whole thing is off. I'm not a huge fan of what he pushes. It's fine.
He's
I don't.
black. He doesn't like it because he's black. It's
No,
okay. It's all
he-
good.
no,
It's
he-
okay.
no, he-
DEI
no.
podcaster. We know. It's all good.
No. I mean, I understand what you guys are doing.
how can
It's
you
fine.
say that how can you say that it's like suspect for Kamala Harris to be dating? Was it? Oh my God, it was Brown, right?
Willie Brown. Willie Brown.
Sorry, yeah. How can you say that's weird, but the Stormy Daniels stuff isn't weird? Or did you just admit that it is?
No, it's listen. He has an issue with sex and women, but it's been acknowledged. Like
Isn't
nobody's arguing.
Trump worse?
What is Trump's worse? I just think it's a deeply flawed
Is
individual.
it worse or better?
I mean, I don't know what's worse or better. I mean, Trump himself has admitted these things. He hasn't had any circumstances since he ran for president. So I think he's kind of cleaned it up. Maybe he's older and has less of a.
Well, excuse me. Wait. Wasn't he
act.
just recently accused of getting sloppy toppy from Laura Loomer?
Destiny, we all know that's not serious.
Oh, really?
Come
So
on.
you think that she was on Air Force One for what? Serious debate prep?
Destiny, you don't think? I don't want to be mean to Laura because I like her. I don't want to say anything.
Are you friends with her?
No, I'm friendly with her. I'm not friends with her. It's not a big thing. I mean, he has models around. That's all I'm saying.
How
it's
old?
true, Destiny.
Isn't Laura Loomer
Okay.
31 years old?
It doesn't matter.
Are
He's
you
been
saying
doing
she's
Wait,
ugly
wait.
when you
Is
said
it?
yes?
Isn't?
I'm not saying she's not ugly. I'm saying she's
Isn't
not
the
a model.
age gap? Wait, just checking. The age gap between Laura Loomer and Donald Trump is larger than the age gap between Kamala Harris
I'm
and.
just saying that he probably would pick a model. That's all I'm saying, Destiny. Come on.
Are you
let's
saying
do
that Laura
this.
Loomer is not attractive?
Oh,
I'm
so
just
he was
saying that he would
embarrassed.
pick. She's not a model. I'm not saying she's unattractive. I'm saying she's not a model. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's fair.
If Donald Trump pooped his pants on stage, would that be disqualifying? Or would you vote for him?
Well, it would
Possibly
depend
be-
first on if there was a BLM activist outside or not, because then maybe he has
No,
to.
I mean,
They're that unfair
listen,
to him.
I understand. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's all fine.
Pooping your
At the end
pants
of-
isn't a big deal?
Pooping his pants is a big deal. I agree. I do find it extremely concerning that Kamala Harris is not able to really have thoughts in her head because you guys just still haven't defended her.
She
any
beat
further.
it. She beat it. She beat Trump in the debate. You'd agree with that, right?
No.
By most people's
Have
estimation.
you wait? Do you acknowledge that Kamala Harris has won more elections than Donald Trump?
I guess what is it? 2 versus 1.
Isn't it like 4 or 5 versus 1? How many is
I don't
it?
know. I mean,
She was elected DA. She was elected twice for Attorney General. She was elected in the Senate, and then she was on the Biden ticket for VP.
Yeah. Okay. But what does that have to do with anything?
Were all those people tricked? She was the dumbest dipshit in California, but managed to win all these.
Destiny, she's going to lose the election. It's not a big, like, I think the election's been over. It's been over for a long time. I think they took an honest look at her popularity, her abilities, and they said, that's why they held on so long with Biden and all these other things. She's going to lose she may lose the popular vote. It's not a big deal. And Democrats, listen, the Democrats have an opportunity to get rid of their DEI hiring because it's the only reason she isn't.
Why would you say DEI hiring when she's more qualified and more successful than Trump in governance in every single conceivable way?
How is she successful? Name a policy she's done that's
When she was the DA and when she was the AG in California, she was successful enough to be reelected as the Attorney General in California.
Can you tell me something she's done?
She utilized when they were having issues with children not attending school. She was using police officers to try to help kids like attend. I don't know. There's like a bunch of random policies of hers I've argued with in the past.
So
she tried to have people that were committing felonies or whatever that were illegal immigrants. She was more aggressive in turning them over to federal authorities. That was one thing she did that Hassan didn't like. I don't know. What does that have to do with anything? Can you name any legislation that Donald Trump passed as tax cuts? No. Like, can you name a single policy that Trump is running on right now besides tariffing everything?
Okay, well, he's going to do what he can at times. Listen,
do what he can at times. Oh my fucking God.
No, I mean, Destiny, it's a lot. The way that you spit a lot of words out.
Oh, okay, I'll use fewer words in simple sentence. What does Donald Trump want to do besides mass tariffs?
He wants to attempt to use every executive power he has to slow down legal and illegal immigration. I think that he was going to have some geopolitical. We're talking domestic, but I'm generally speaking, he's going to have some geopolitical direction, which would have some type of global stability, which would benefit America. As of right now, we have none right now.
What did Donald Trump do when he was president for geopolitical stability?
I don't know. He essentially put pressure on Putin, for example.
Oh, he put pressure on Putin. So did the civil war in the Donbass stop? Did the occupation of Crimea stop?
It didn't go to where it is today. I think there's no off ramp.
Why did you say it didn't go to where it is today? Do you understand that you're non-responsive? Do you understand that if you were this non-responsive in a hospital, they would harvest your organs?
I'm not sitting here with talking points on a computer.
You are giving me. You're literally giving me talking points. You're not even thinking about the words that you're saying.
No, I'm not. I am thinking about the words that I'm seeing. Right.
Okay. So my question is what did Donald Trump do about the occupation in Crimea and the civil war in the Donbass? You said that he was doing things for Ukraine and Russia. Give me one example.
Well, essentially, he put pressure on Putin with, whatever the fuck it is, whether it's economic or whatever, not to infringe upon more in which they're Ukrainian borders, right? I think at this point right now, if you don't give a shit about human life, I think that he would have to ultimately give up a little piece of land so that the Ukrainian people don't have to suffer and die to the point that they're dying.
If all the Ukrainian people are suffering and dying, why are they still massively in favor of the war?
Oh, they kind of had pressure. They put them in jail if they don't go on the front lines.
That's why it polls well?
I don't know why it polls well. I mean, I'm not a Ukrainian. I mean, if
so now we don't know anything about the Ukraine. But before we seem to be an expert that they wanted to stop fighting. But now we have no idea.
I'm not saying they want the individuals want to or not want to stop fighting. I mean, at the end of the day, they have to fight. They will be thrown in jail if not. That's a fact. A lot of people are leaving. I mean,
that has nothing to do with the polling stuff. It's not responsive to the question.
Whatever. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, we all understand. No, I'm not here. I'm not sitting here with facts and things like that. We all understand that global stability was definitely better underneath Trump. That's a fact.
No, it wasn't. Comment after comment. There's a reason why when Donald Trump points to leaders that like him or leaders he wants to emulate, it's always authoritarian losers like Putin, like Kim Jong-un, like fucking Orban or whatever. Like it's always these people that are these authoritarian leaders. It's never who are the democratic leaders around the world that are saying nice things about Donald Trump.
I mean, which ones do you point to and you're like that's a really great leader, that's a democratic leader? I mean, a lot of these people are pushing, ridiculous types of legislature and you could say anti-democratic policies within their country. I'm not.
You don't get to say anti-democratic in a sentence.
I understand.
Yeah. Well, okay. I have one final question because we got to wrap this up.
That's fine.
But I do appreciate Boxing you coming on. My question for you is, do you think that a white person's life, all else equal, is the same as a black person's life?
Jesus. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Wait, here's a question. Yeah. If you could vote for president, if you could install one as a president, you're the only vote that matters. Would you choose Kamala Harris or Putin?
Kamala Harris?
Oh, okay. Amazing. All right. So
cool. Nice.
Yeah, okay. I mean, how retarded do you think I am? I know you guys
pretty retarded.
Are talking about. I know, Destiny. You're just a genius. I get it. I understand. You just, it is what it is.
No, I just wanted to agree on things at the end.
Yeah, I do agree on a lot of things. I'm sure you agree. I agree with you on abortion, Destiny. Be happy. I agree with you on abortion.
If you agree with Destiny on abortion, why do you support Trump?
Because he's not pushing for any more abortion laws. He's pro-choice.
He's going to vote for the. He's going to vote for the Florida amendment when he's voting, the one that relates to the right to have an abortion in Florida.
Oh my God, I don't think that's going to pass. By the way,
they have to get 60% of the vote in Florida.
It's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to pass.
Okay.
I'm pro-choice. What are you arguing? I mean,
okay.
Well, listen. I would be very happy if the Republican. I'm very happy the Republican Party is taking their foot off abortion because it's a retarded issue. The government's not stopping people to live Christian and holy lives and not get abortions. That's it. I don't even think it's an argument.
They think that it's tantamount to murder, and so
they're not going to stop. Don't do it then. Don't kill a baby then.
You would never say okay, just don't murder me, murder your own family or whatever. I mean, and that's why they're not going to stop. And that's why it's kind of.
I understand.
You can't have a position on abortion that it's tantamount to murder, and then explain why it shouldn't nationwide be banned.
I understand. I get it. Okay. But I don't argue that. I get it. Listen, at the end, really, what it comes down to for me personally, immigration, and there are geopolitical issues, and I think that those are the most important things that I do think Trump is better than Kamala. And again, I'm looking at Kamala. I'm not looking at Bill Clinton from the 90s. I'm not even looking at a young fucking Joe Biden. We have to assess what's in front of us, right?
Yeah, and what's in front of us? What's in front of us ultimately is what's going to be there on Election Day, and I think that the record speaks for itself. And yeah, thank you for your perspective, and thanks everyone for joining us, Stephen. I appreciate you, and I understand that you're upsetty spaghetti a little bit. What just happened, but
No,
I think it's good for us to.
I think it's great. It was amazing.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you're not too black-pilled on your communities and on conservatives in general.
No, I think these guys are amazing.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone. We'll probably be back next week for another one focusing more on foreign issues. But again, if you are anyone who wants to engage with us or give us your best argument on Trump versus Kamala, stay tuned and yeah, be around next week at around 2:00 Saturday. Thanks, guys.
Love you. We are. I'll be in Vegas on the 20. On one of the days, either Saturday or Sunday. I'll be there for canvassing. We're doing one more canvassing event, I think in Nevada, because that's where the PV camp is right now. I think they need a few thousand more for hotel rooms or something. Or I shouldn't say hotel rooms. I'm not sure. Something for the event. I'm linking the thing in chat if you want to dono for the Progressive Victory Las Vegas canvassing event. Holy shit. Oh my God. What a collection of human beings.